The whole U.S. economy is sort of depending on Nvidia's earnings. Jensen will be talking about the future and leading us off a cliff someday.
We are hosting our first ever bull-bear debate on the show. We are joined by Ben Bajarin, the CEO and principal analyst of Creative Strategies, who is our bull, and also by Jay Goldberg, senior analyst at Seaport Research. He has a sell rating on the stock, one of the only, if not the only, analyst on Wall Street with a sell rating. Jay, since you are our bear, I'm going to start with you. 20 seconds. Lay it out for us, and then we'll get more into the details.
I think the bear case comes down to demand. What does end demand look like? And I think there are signs right now, and a growing number of signs, that it's getting harder and harder to generate the demand, to pay for the demand, to finance the demand for all the people who want to buy Nvidia chips.
Ben, your 20 seconds starts now.
Bullish because we're in early stages of AI. It's mildly adopted across consumer and enterprise, and this is the single most computationally complex software we've ever seen in the history of software and development, which justifies massive amounts of compute.
Nvidia has great products, but others are catching up. AMD just had an event last week where they outlined their roadmap. Right? They have now competitive silicon. They're going to have competitive racks. By 2027, they're going to be fully competitive. On top of that, and probably more crucial, is NVIDIA is competing with all of its customers. All the hyperscalers are designing their own silicon. If you look at Google TPU, you could make a pretty solid case that TPU is a better chip for doing large classes of AI workloads.
NVIDIA has the single largest installed base of GPUs, both at the edge and in the cloud, and that number is increasing by an exponential. So as much as, I agree TPUs are great products, and I do want competition, and I want AMD to do well, there's something very specific from a software development, a deployment, and a continued innovation standpoint from all these developers for technical architectural compatibility and the installed base that continues to favor, NVIDIA, and NVIDIA getting better and better and better at processing these insanely big models, right? If Gemini was a 5 trillion parameter model, we're going to 10 trillion parameters. We're going to hit 20 trillion parameters. That demands unprecedented levels of compute, and that's just Jensen and NVIDIA's sweet spot.
What about, Ben, what about the chips that are focused on inference? Why aren't those concerning to you right now as a threat?
I think that will become more of a opportunity going forward. And then again, you got to ask yourself, and I firmly believe this, that NVIDIA will begin to fragment their product line from one general purpose thing that's both good at training and inference to offer also an inference specific product. Because again, it fits their strategy for, we've got CUDA, we've got software developers, you're already going to run and train on us, so why not inference on us? And so you'll build out inference data centers also with a SKU that I believe NVIDIA will make. We're just not at that part of the cycle yet. In fact, very few people, if any, actually have any successful inference-only product. This includes TPUs as well. I think we're just in that stage, but I fully expect everybody in the space, NVIDIA included, and the names that I mentioned, to offer also inference products, because you're right, it makes sense to just have inference data centers with inference-specific products.
I think the market for inference will be huge, but I don't think we have a good grasp of what those workloads will look like. And until we do that, it's going to be hard to tell what the silicon footprint will look like. I think it's anybody's game, and I think that's a vulnerability for NVIDIA going forward. In their press release, they pointed out that they had booked $14 billion of cloud compute services, right? That's what we call backstops, right? Whenever one of these neoclouds buys chips systems from NVIDIA, it comes with a guarantee that NVIDIA will backstop some amount of demand from that neocloud. This is essentially a discount, right? And so the question is, why do you have to discount that? I mean, there's a bigger question too, is which the neoclouds all say we're fully utilized, 100% utilized. Well, if that's true, then why do you need the backstop? If these backstops are helping with sales, isn't that a discount? Is pricing maybe a little bit weaker than the sort of headline numbers would indicate? And in the case of OpenAI, full credit to them, they have incredible models, they have incredible technology, but let's not forget they are essentially a startup, and they're burning a lot of cash, and they have these big plans, to spend $1 trillion in the next 5 years. We don't know where they're going to get that money from. They don't know where they're going to get that money from. How much of NVIDIA's sort of long-term outlook has OpenAI baked into it? It's a pretty big number, and I think that's, I don't know how reliable that is.
Yeah, I mean, OpenAI aside, I just have zero doubt on where the cloud guys are going, because again, they are right now spending less than 30%.
You're basically putting it under the cloud. OpenAI aside, you're saying the cloud The hyperscalers are spending enough on CapEx.
The hyperscalers are spending enough on CapEx. And again, that's less.
Okay.
They're spending right now less than 30% of their cloud revenues. So they have opportunity to keep investing, keep monetizing, keep seeing the AI-centric portion of that road. And then again, remember, these are not one-trick ponies. And I think that's one of the challenges for OpenAI and some of the frontier labs is that's their only revenue model. Like Microsoft, Amazon, Google make money from a lot of other stuff as well. So they have the opportunity to continue to invest and fund. Let's remember that for a decade plus, Amazon lost money investing in their future of capacity of books and warehouses and infrastructure before they turn to profit. And that's why, like, that's not dissimilar to what we're seeing now. There's just such a big belief that AI will monetize, that people will see revenue, will be recognized, that this is the build out phase.